about this in the fourth way, the main tool and the main method and the way to go, and the method and the aim is encapsulated in this term, remembering oneself, self-remembering. This comes from I think it's a Sanskrit term, Atma Vichara. Atman will be the self. There's some offices here, it's okay. So could be translated self-remembering or self-investigation or self-abiding or self-inquiry. And I guess what in modern day mindfulness and, hey, be present, Eckhart Tolle, be present, mindfulness, be mindful, that it's almost like self-remembering, a little diluted, but so there's connected to that. And in this term, self-remembering, first of all, the remembering is not like, oh, what was the number of my childhood home number? 411, 414, you know, it's not like that remembering, intellectual remembering. So remembering is, it's more like when you are in daydreaming and suddenly you're like, whoa, and come back to the present. You are coming back to the present, you are pulling away from veils of daydreamings and come back to the present. You're like, oh, wow. You know, so that somehow it's some form of that kind of remembering where you come to. Depending where we are at in our level of being, so to say, our understanding about the self is different, you know. So depending on what we understand by self, it will influence our self-remembering. But self, in both in Buddhist and non-duality and fourth way, self refers to that which is aware right now. That whatever it is, which is noticing, hearing, sensing, noticing thoughts. So the being, the being, the aware being. And also this term aware being is like some word, so it relates to that which is hearing. Or the rain, here there's rain, so the perceiving. So self would be like, so self-remembering would be like, there's different aspects, but there's like pulling ourselves away from the daydreamings and being scattered in past and future and lost in thought or hooked onto like something, you know, when you are on a screen, or it's like the whole of attention is out there and I'm totally unaware of my existence or what's happening here. I'm either lost there or I'm lost in the voices, the radios, yeah? So self-remembering implies a little bit of coming back to the present and having attention in the present, and because that's what's real. And a little bit more than that, it's a sense of, and I wasn't planning to talk about this, but it's a sense of being aware of phenomena in the present, like being aware, like what we used to do in meditation. I'm telling us, hey, notice the phenomena in the now, the three realms, the thoughts. Notice thoughts as opposed to being lost in thoughts. Notice thoughts. Don't go into unnecessary thinking. That's almost like a disease. Anyway, notice thoughts. Notice energies in the body. We've been doing this all along. Be aware of our emotional body or the sensations, the energies. Notice them. usually we are lost in the thoughts somewhere else and unaware of the body. Yeah, so you're trying to be here, aware of the body, aware of, you know, triggers, emotions, sensations, aware of thoughts, and aware of the world, like a cat. Yeah, like, okay. Yeah, so this would be some kind of mindfulness, like, hey, I'm present to the present. I'm attending to what is here. This is already very much better than the state of being lost. It's more like I'm more here in the now, consciously in the now. So that's a foundational thing. The attention is in the now. That is an aspect of self-remembering. It's not quite the full enchilada. Self-remembering would be to be aware of these things I noticed. I said so far, you know, like sounds, thoughts, my voice, you know, now is the voice, and this body is gesticulating. So aware of these things. What is aware of these things? What is aware of these things? Awareness is aware of these things. Whatever we call it, it's not the mind that is aware. It's not my thoughts that are aware of colors and of movements. It's this awareness. Yeah. So awareness is aware of these things and aware of itself. So it's some kind of being aware. I'm aware that I am. Yeah, so I can be aware of a sound. I can be aware of a sensation, you know. Can pinch yourself. And then you can be aware of being. Where do you put your attention when you're aware of being? Nowhere and everywhere. You know, we can't pinpoint it. You know, it's like being conscious of being as well as of what's happening. This is self-remembering. This is actually one problem. One difficulty in doing that is that we think we are already doing it, but we are not doing it. So we are constantly, our awareness is lost in the phenomena and is forgetting itself all the time. So this absence of being aware that we are and aware of what's happening, this constant self-forgetfulness and state of being checked out, this creates the normal state of humanity where our parents were and where we are, unless we make certain conscious effort. And most humanity is in this state, and that's why it is so shitty here. So the fourth way, or non-duality, or whatever, good methods with awareness, Buddhism, they are trying to change our level of consciousness through various practices. Yeah, so this self-remembering is the main practice. And I keep talking about it, but I don't mention it by its true name. And so that's why I'm planning to focus more on this fourth way map, which integrates processing your trauma and repression and observing tendencies. And yeah, it includes all of these things, but it's a bigger, more complete map of, okay, why are we doing this? What am I doing next? You know, it's a whole thing.